Dr. Prerna Joshi. She earned her graduate, postgraduate, that is B.Ed, M.Ed degrees from Punjab University. She is also JRF net qualified in education. She has been fortunate enough to be moderating online sessions. She has also been fortunate enough to be moderating online international collaboration based events of the school. Her team of faculty from the Department of English created a video on toy based pedagogy lesson, which was selected by NCRT and published on Diksha app in 2020. She also got her exemplar based on art integrated pedagogy in the CBSE handbook. I welcome you, ma'am, to take the first session on multidisciplinary approach in teaching and learning of English.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So before we begin with this workshop, I would like to thank Anil sir and our principal, ma'am, Mrs. Gulshan Kaur, for giving me this opportunity to share whatever I know, and I will try my level best to give whatever I know, whatever I have learned over the years. Uh, Before we begin, I would just like to apprise the audience that this particular workshop is divided to three phases. The first one, where we are going to talk about the PPT is there. Whatever I could gather from my experience, I've tried to put it across in my PPT. So after that PPT, we are going to go in for the breakout rooms. In the breakout rooms, after having seen the slides, we'll all probably will get an idea about how to go about with the multidisciplinary approach in the teaching of English language. As per the class categories, we are going to have three breakout rooms. That is, one will be for the category of teachers teaching up to classes 5, second one from classes 6 to 8, and the third category for the teachers who are taking classes 9 to 12. 10 minutes will be given in the breakout room where all the teachers, and we can choose one team leader, will be deciding upon any kind of a lesson which falls under our curriculum, which can be taught through the multidisciplinary approach. After the breakout room of 10 minutes each, we are going to discuss group wise how are we going to take up that lesson. So at the outset only, let us all be prepared to start thinking about the lessons which we can take up through the multidisciplinary approach as per our level or as per our classes. And then we're going to have discussion. And I'm sure this is going to be an enriching and enlightening session. But my dear colleagues, I would seek your participation at each step. I would be asking certain questions. I would take, because we are all the members of same fraternity. We belong to fraternity of educators. So let us all together initiate with this workshop and delve on a journey of learning and an enriching experience. May we have the first slide, map? Simple map. Yeah, the next one. Yes. So do you observe a paradigm shift in the education system from the times when we were students to the times when we are educators now? So friends, can I have your responses in the chat box? I would be happy if we have prompt replies. That definitely we've all seen there is a lot of change in the education system right from the time when we were students. But any kind of change that we feel has come up over the years. Definitely, ma'am, Alka ma'am, it's more student centered now. Whatever we are doing in our school, in our education process, our center is the student. We want to give the best to our students. So, yes, there is a lot of change. Probably when we were, it's a blended learning. Definitely, ma'am, technology based. Technology probably has changed the facet of education system, and especially after the year 2020. So I think technology has played a major role. And yes, when we were students, it used to be one-sided. But now, when we are going to the classrooms, we are more into taking inputs from them as well. So yes, I think my colleagues, definitely pedagogical approach has changed. We've got so many pedagogies. so that we can make our lessons interesting. Yes, Alka ma'am says multidisciplinary, and this is the reason we are here. It is a multidisciplinary approach. We try to incorporate different pedagogies, different techniques, so that the lesson is becomes a lifelong learning for our students. Thank you, ma'am. Can we have the next slide, please? This is one short video I would like everyone to watch. And the volume is not there. There seems to be some tech problem. The volume is not reaching probably everyone. Yes, it's not audible. No, ma'am, probably there seems to be some issue with the video. Anyway, so this was a beautiful video that I came across, which definitely focused. Ma'am, if you can just play it, even if there's no sound. So this video seemed very
application,
interesting.
problem-based. When you ask a teacher to describe their best lesson, you usually hear things like creativity, choice, real-life application, problem-based learning. So why don't we teach that way? Well, we generally say things like, we don't have enough time, it's not on the test, there are too many standards to assess, it's scary. The internet has changed the availability and speed of facts, figures, and information, making how and what we teach children even more fluid. We need to shift our practice from the traditional model of teaching individual subjects to a more interdisciplinary approach. Problems seldom are specific to one discipline. Most solutions require an application of knowledge from a variety of subjects. A baker wouldn't be successful using one ingredient. More importantly, the baker needs to know how the ingredients will work together to make the best cake. You know, standards taught in isolation don't allow students to make real-world connections between and among subjects. Technology allows us to create a recipe that mixes standards to create a multidisciplinary project. The application of knowledge assessment seeks to determine how well students have synthesized the information we taught. Rather than regurgitate facts on a test, we will seek to determine how deep their understanding is. And when students are being challenged to combine knowledge from various subjects to solve unique problems, the results, well, they're delicious.
So this is what
When
I
you
really
ask
felt. Yeah, I really felt this video very meaningful. First of all, it talks about the fact that definitely it is challenging for a teacher to use several technologies, as the video says, we don't have time, etc. But ultimately, when we are talking about a student, we have to take care of their creativity. We have to give our best so that their creative potential comes out. And we all have to work towards that. And then towards the end, when he says, if we really need to have a good burger, it should have all the best of the ingredients. And when we talk of multidisciplinary approach, the best in all the ingredients are the different subjects that mix together to make one child who is actually a one who is innovative, creative, and in sync with what is going on around the world, and of course, a lifelong learner. A child sees the world. Yes, ma'am, it is actually true. I really like that video. A child sees the world as one unit, and an integrated approach to learning attempts to follow the child's natural ways of learning, viewing the world as a whole. The teacher's role being to provide experience and to assist the process. And we all know teachers are now just the facilitators. It is the students who are in the center of this process, and here we are just to provide them all the experiences that we can give to them. Ma'am, can we have the next slide, please? Yes. Now, my dear friends, if you can just quickly write in chat box, what is multidisciplinary approach in teaching according to you? What according to us we feel is a multidisciplinary approach in teaching? And I think we have been using a multidisciplinary approach at different points of our education system. Yes?
May I, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Ma'am, I guess multidisciplinary approach in teaching any subject is an integrated way of picking up a curriculum in such a way that you're adopting everything that leads to differentiated instruction to explain any theme, topic, or subject.
Absolutely right, ma'am. This is what we are supposed to, connecting the lesson to the situations. Yes, ma'am, absolutely right what Aradhana ma'am said. And catering to different subjects and fields to explain a particular concept. Absolutely. If we have to make one burger, we have to take our knowledge from different things and put it in that burger. And somewhere this is what we feel is multidisciplinary approach in teaching. Can we have the next slide which talks about it? Yeah, Ilanjana ma'am says it's inclusive and integrated education and all subjects taken together as. It is like combining absolutely Ravneet ma'am, right? Puzzle pieces and to see a bigger picture. Certainly, yes. Connecting or involving different subjects. So this is what NEP says. It says the multidisciplinary approach to teaching entails combining knowledge, concepts, and methodologies from several disciplines or topic areas or what we call subjects as well in order to produce a more comprehensive and linked learning experience. And if it is linked, it is going to be a lifelong learning for our learners, for our students. It is one of the best approaches in teaching. Teachers of different disciplines can collaborate and support each other while giving way to and living their teaching. And definitely, if we have teachers from different disciplines coming in the classroom, it is not only going to provide a lifelong learning for the students, it is going to break the monotony of one particular teacher also in the particular classroom. If it is an English class, if the teacher from other discipline, maybe a music teacher comes, if we integrated our lesson that way, that music teacher is there, or maybe a sports teacher is there, or a science teacher is there, the students, I'm very sure, are going to learn and going to retain that topic for a longer time and probably for a lifetime. And yes, Dipali ma'am, enhances holistic growth of a child. Absolutely right, ma'am. Can we have the next slide, please, Simple ma'am? Yeah. Now, what does NEP says and about the multidisciplinary approach? So let's see what NEP says. As Ashok sir also mentioned, NEP has given a total change in the education scenario. So it says a multidisciplinary education, as envisaged in the NEP 2020, aims to develop social, physical, intellectual, emotional, and moral capacities of human being in an integrated manner. I think we all are the products of that education, where probably we were not, the education was not activity based. It was only reading, rote memorization, or maybe understanding, appearing for the exams, and that's it. But now, when we talk of education, intellectual, apart from the intellectual understanding of the students, the intellectual development, we as teachers have to cater to the social, physical, most importantly, emotional and moral capacities of students. Next slide, ma'am. Now, benefits. My dear friends, I would seek your help over here again. If we can just quickly write about what do you think can be the benefit of a multidisciplinary approach for our learners, maybe for we as teachers also. If you can, you can unmute yourself also. Yes, ma'am. Holistic development. That is the ultimate aim of education. This is what NEP says. Holistic education. That is the need of the hour. We cannot focus on just the intellectual development. We have to give a holistic learning experience. Yes, Aparna ma'am. Collaboration. Collaboration is the key word of multidisciplinary approach. Innovation. Joining blocks of different subjects to help child to think beyond the prescribed curriculum. Certainly, yes, we have to relate the curriculum to life. And How can we relate? As ma'am says, joining the puzzle boxes. So this is how we'll be able to relate our curriculum, critical thinking, teamwork. The children will become future ready, and this is what we want them to be future ready, understanding, better creativity, and definitely real world problem solving. Overall growth, that's very important. Overall growth of a student is very important. And when we are giving such learning experiences, as it is said, Sonia ma'am says 360-degree learning experience. So certainly, yes, this is what is our aim. So that they think beyond the classroom, beyond the subject, rather they collaborate. So that they come out as good individual, as lifelong learners, able to integrate all subjects, continuous learning through real life experiences, and the child will become a wholesome individual. Absolutely right. Thank you, my dear friends. So basically, all these are the points that I have written in the further slides. So prepare students for real world success. So here are some points. Teaching is based on connections than isolation, like connecting the boxes of the puzzle pieces. So it's not an isolated learning. We have to connect English to several other subjects. We have to connect mathematics to different subjects, so on and so forth. Students perceive the interconnection of information and get a better understanding. This is what I always, tell in my classes also, generally, like when we do the poetic devices, there are certain poetic devices like simile, metaphor, hyperbole, which they probably do it in Hindi already, like Atishokti Alankar, ya Upma Alankar. So whenever we connect that, they are able to like retain it and learn it. So they are able to have a better understanding when we connect different subjects while we are teaching them. Then comprehensive learning activities combining, Simran ma'am, can you please mute Ritu ma'am, if that's possible? Comprehensive learning activities combining, Ritu ma'am, can you please mute yourself? Yeah, thank you. Comprehensive learning activities combining abilities and subject matter from other disciplines. So very important, abilities. We have to give focus on abilities. Jagriti ma'am says understanding subject is easy and fun to learn. Certainly, when we are going to cater to their different senses, it is not about mind, it is about the senses, the kinesthetic approach, and the other approaches that we follow. They are going to learn it forever. Promotes critical thinking, as it was said earlier also in the chat, that it promotes critical thinking. They will go beyond the classroom. Yes, Dipali ma'am, it builds the strengths of the student. So strength not only physically, but mental, emotional, social strengths. Of course, it leads to experiential learning. So when we are exposing student to different challenges, activities, they will become lifelong learners and they will learn it. Soumya ma'am, yeah, and subject matter from other disciplines. It promotes critical think. Okay, learning is more relevant and engaging. Certainly, it goes without saying. It is going to be more relevant. Fosters collaboration and teamwork both in learners and educators. Very true. It like as it was mentioned earlier also, when students collaborate, they return it for forever. As even Prachi ma'am has said, they become lifelong learners. And whenever students get time to collaborate, they always enjoy that. And it is beneficial not only for the learners, for we as teachers and educators also. When we collaborate, we get to know about the disciplines of the other teachers also, and we get to know about their subject matter. They get a chance to work with the peers, and probably that is the best thing that can happen to students when in the class they are learning also something and they are doing some activities with their friends. I think that's the best which can happen with students. Exchange of viewpoints and ideas. It provides students with different opportunities to explore, opportunities to draw. It's a multidisciplinary approach. If we invite an art teacher to our class, they are definitely going to enjoy. We invite music teacher, and not to say, if there is a sports teacher, we plan a lesson that ways that a sports teacher is invited. We have some lesson, maybe based on any game. If we invite a sports teacher to it, I think that is going to be a heaven for students. I hope my colleagues will definitely agree to it. and provide students with different opportunities, effective communication. So certainly when they are in one group work, we are collaborating, different teachers, students are collaborated, they are working in pairs, in groups as per our learning designs. They are going to learn how to effectively communicate and in a teamwork. They are not working in isolation right now. It's happening as a team. Ma'am, can we have the next slide, please? Yeah, it improves certainly all these activities, all our learning designs based on this approach will ultimately enhance the performance of students. Of course, they will become curious learners, and I think this is what we want. We want to arouse that curiosity in order to develop that critical thinking. They explore more and find areas of interest. I've given this written example over here, CBSE multidisciplinary projects that we used to give students. We do give every year. So I think that's a good example where we take up one concept and then the projects are given based on different subjects. For example, it is on, say, some project on water conservation. So as English teachers, teachers of English, we give them some task. As a social teacher, so ultimately when one child is exploring one particular topic from the aspect of or from the point of view of different subjects, this will enhance his learning. Yes, Subhashri ma'am, students can analyze, evaluate, and from multiple perspectives, certainly, and this will lead to their critical thinking. Thank you so much, ma'am. Essential in fields such as art, design, and entrepreneurship. These days, we all know the careers that are coming up, they are way different from probably the careers that were 10 years ago. And all these new careers, maybe it is blogging, the vlogging is one career which is coming and people are really earning. They're doing a lot of hard work also. This is something, not a conventional career, but now it has become. So definitely all these students or people who are into the the blogging these days or the vlogging these days, they were probably given this type kind of an education where they can be critical thinking, they have the ability to take risks, they learn how to balance and adjust. Certainly, yes. Helps in developing passion for learning. Holistic approach, as it was written by many of our colleagues. Holistic approach, this is a holistic approach towards learning. We can pick up any subject and we connect it with different subjects. The child is definitely going to enjoy that particular lesson and learn. Better adjustment in complex environment. So as like it was mentioned earlier, they work as a team. So as a team, sometimes they don't, they might come across some challenging situation, but since they are working in team, they work together because ultimately they are interested to show the product or show the whatever task was given to them. So ultimately, the end result is the holistic development of a child, and a critical thinking and a creative child is there, which we are going to get. Can we have the next slide, ma'am? Yes. So now how do we execute the multidisciplinary approach in teaching? And let's try and understand interdependence of subjects on one another. So ma'am, can we have the next slide, please? So this is one kind of a hexagon kind of a web that I've tried making over here, where the word topic is written at the center. For example, we are doing any English task, English or any other language, we can connect it with social science. For example, I would just like to give one example over here, that this one example is coming to my mind right now. Um, we have this one lesson in our class 12 that's by the name of Journey to the End of the Earth. If I'm taking that topic in my class, I can invite a social science teacher. If there are teachers who are taking class 12 over here, will be able to relate with what I am trying to say. I can invite a social science teacher to the class who will come. He or she will come and talk about maybe Antarctica, the Gondwana, how it was, then it separated. We can invite a geography teacher who can come and talk about Antarctica, some physical features of Antarctica, etc. If I invite a maths teacher to the class, this particular lesson talks about, it talks about the distance at all. So the teacher can map the lesson design, the learning design can be mapped in a way that the mathematics teacher takes up the maybe the distances and the concept of distance, speed, etc. Even in a social, yes, geography and history from social science, yes, the chapter also talks about the different time zones. A geography teacher can come and explain the concept of time zone, which the narrator Tishani Doshi had covered. Art teacher, the best thing that can happen to them, can come and teach them or give them some understanding about drawing something related to Antarctica or whatever comes there into their mind. Science teacher, this particular chapter talks about biology, phytoplanktons and the different kind of species which are found. So the teacher, because when we do this chapter, the words like phytoplankton, and there are certain the animals or the species which are being talked about over here, students sometimes find it challenging to understand. So if a biology teacher comes and explains students about them, I think they will be able to return better. And of course, writing, when we say writing, it can be any language comes, any language teacher comes, and we can give them a writing task. If you can see, I've kept this one hexagon, probably it is hexagon only, the 6 sides. Empty. So this is for any other subject which we can fit in. So this entire chart shows us that how beautifully one topic, one lesson where we can collaborate different teachers coming and teaching them will ultimately enhance the learning of the students. So just one quote over here, a teacher is like a gatekeeper of knowledge, acting like a facilitator in the class. So this, I think everybody will endorse with this fact that we are now the facilitators. We are just the, a mediator. It's what the students have to do. They have to learn at their pace as per their understanding. Teachers of different disciplines we invited for holistic learning experiences, procedures to complete a topic using a multidisciplinary approach begin in the planning stage. Yes, ma'am, very true. Abantika ma'am, she is being able to probably fill that gap of that one hexagon when she says psychology. We can definitely invite a psychology teacher, how change of regions can impact our mental state. Very true. So this is how, when we start thinking, we will see that how beautifully one lesson can be taken up. Facilitation of knowledge is done in a manner that students grab the content and retain it for lifetime, which is our ultimate aim. So this is what it, all these things, collaboration, all these things should be done in the planning stage. Our learning designs should be made in such a way that it reflects that in my lesson, I'm going to collaborate so and so teacher, so that the execution be done effectively. We can invite a music teacher. She can motivate students to create some pieces of music, which will definitely, and fortunately, I had done this particular chapter through the art integrated pedagogy in my class last year. And must I say, the way students they had created rap songs based on Antarctica, the origin of the history of Antarctica. And that was really appreciable, worthwhile, the way the students were very prompt in doing so. Ma'am, can we have the next slide, please? So yeah, this is one example which I've taken from for English specifically, though we have already discussed Journey to the End of the Earth. So that was for class 12. This is a simple paragraph on water. One thing we need to understand over here in multidisciplinary approach, we have to confine ourselves, or we have to be confined in the boundaries of our topic. I would just like to mention over here, Jagriti ma'am has given this. We begin our educational journey by learning the English or Hindi language through music. Very true, ma'am. From the very start, recalling the rhyme. Yes, absolutely right. The English alphabet that we used to sing. So not only English, ma'am, even the tables. I think everything. Music is something which hits the chord, and I think if we incorporate somewhere the subject of music in our lessons, it is going to be a wonderful class. Thank you so much, Jagriti ma'am, for giving this input. So, for example, so this is what we have to be confined, remain in our subject, in our topic. So it's just that for example, I'm doing a paragraph on water, a very basic a thing. I can invite a Hindi teacher who can come, or in her Hindi class only, she can talk about synonyms, the Prayavachi related to water, which can be incorporated in a paragraph on water. I can invite a science teacher who can say, students, give an activity to students whereby students collect information related to water level on the globe. They can and then they can put forth where they can. I think we remember, like it always we used to quote in the paragraph on water that Earth is 70% water. So all these data can be added if we take the help of a science teacher over here, then art teacher drawing a poster related to the theme. So if we are getting a paragraph on water made, let us tell students, let us invite an art teacher to the class and let the teacher ask students to draw something related to water, whatever comes to their mind. And then we can channelize their knowledge. Social science teacher can come and he or she can talk about sources of water, names of water bodies, or maybe the ones which are found in India. Or this way, when they are writing their paragraph on water, they are going to have a very good content, which will be in itself a multidisciplinary one. And then mathematics teacher be invited, where the teacher will tell students to calculate consumption of water in school locality. That is again going to be a very good thing. Dipali ma'am has added her inputs regarding the ICT. Everything ends up when we present what we learn, where ICT plays a vital role these days. Absolutely right, ma'am. ICT has become all the more prominent after the pandemic, and even the video, this small clip that also focused on the technology. That technology will help us to and make our lessons better. And even when we are doing paragraph on water, we can also tell students to create a PowerPoint presentation. So there comes the role of a teacher of computer who can come and teach them the basic nuances of making a PPT, and they can make that also, or maybe download a video, present it. So basically one small paragraph on water, if we use different approaches, different disciplines, I definitely am sure that students will come out with the content which probably wouldn't be found in the um, essays of, the books which have essays on water. That I'm very sure if we incorporate this particular approach. Ma'am, can we have the next slide, please? Yeah, and now a multidisciplinary project in process using art integrated for pedagogy. Ma'am, next slide. This is one project that was based on class 11. We are not afraid to die. Where we had used the toy-based pedagogy as well. So the first picture over here, the collage. Here we had invited the art teacher of our school, where she helps students to make different kind of boards. Like as Dipali ma'am said, ICT, we did show students some photographs of different kind of boats. Like our chapter, We Are Not Afraid to Die, from class 11, book Monville, is about a sea voyage. They were shown some photographs, and then they were given the material, and then they made. Of course, under the guidance of the art teacher. The second photograph shows it was physics concept being taught to them, the concept of beyond sea, because this chapter talks about the upstream downstream, which was also taken up by the mathematics teacher in this third photograph, where the students made the graph of it was about this particular concept of mathematics. So this is how we had incorporated these things to our lesson. And yes, students do remember, till date it was probably the year 21 or 22, and students still they remember this particular lesson because it was a fun for them as well, where the other teachers had come to the class and they taught them something. Yes, ma'am. Now it's time. Next slide, ma'am. Now it is time to explore and innovate. We now will begin with the breakout rooms. It's 47 right now, 4:47. 10 minutes breakout room will be there. Let me again tell the concept. Over here, we have created three breakout rooms. One breakout room is for, you can see probably there are three links in the chat box, if I'm not wrong. and there are 3 breakout rooms as per the level of the, the teachers, that is up to 5. The teachers taking classes up to 5 will enter that breakout room. We can mutually, come up with one group leader, and then since we just have a 10 minutes time, so we need to think of any lesson in which we can use the multidisciplinary approach. Then there's another breakout for the rooms of class for classes, teachers taking classes 6 to 8. So teachers, you can join that breakout room. And then 9 to 12, the breakout room is just for 10 minutes. Just try, let's work together to come up with one lesson which is based on this particular approach. So ma'am, I hope the breakout rooms are visible. Yes, ma'am. So if you can see some window kind of a thing on your screen, probably if you're using your phone, just below that recording thing, you can see 4 windows, which has this breakout room tab. A simple ma'am, if you could just help them out, unmute yourself, because I'm getting a message that they're not visible. Teachers, please let us know if you are able to see the breakout rooms.
No, ma'am, we cannot.
Not able to?
No, ma'am.
We'll try, because we have created 3 breakout rooms. If we can just scroll it somewhere here and there on the screen, or if Simple ma'am could help. Posali ma'am is saying yes.
It is same.
It's there, ma'am? Is it?
Yes, it's there.
I'm
Okay.
creating it again, ma'am. Give me a minute,
Okay.
please.
Fine, ma'am. Just give us a minute, dear colleagues. She's creating it again, but though they are probably visible to the other colleagues. So 3 breakout room as per the class category. Choose one team leader so that in these 10 minutes, we can come up with something which is going to be effective and impactful for our students. Any one short, small concept, it can be a poem, it can be a chapter, anything. Or in the meanwhile, till the time the breakout rooms are being created, if we can have if somebody can unmute, if there's any idea that's coming to anybody's mind, if you can please unmute and share.
Prerna ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, we can take up adjectives.
Correct.
And we can relate it to history, like we can ask students to, describe who Bhagat Singh was. So when they will write, so
Yes.
naturally they will be making use of adjectives to describe.
Wonderful, ma'am. And when we are taking adjective only, we can invite a history teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Hannah, and we can. Yes, ma'am.
Breakout rooms are here, ma'am. Kindly start joining, please.
Yes, please start joining. It is for 10 minutes.
Simple,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
Can you explain where, like I cannot see?
Ma'am, when you tap on your screen, you will get breakout room icon just on your screen only, on left hand side or on the right hand side.
So I must tap on the screen.
Yes, you have to tap on a breakout room and choose your room according to your classes.
All right.
What about the laptop users? Where do we get them?
What about
Ma'am, you might get at the bottom.
Ma'am, it's on the more icon.
Right, it's appearing under the more icon.
Yes, it's under the more icon.
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Dear teachers, I request the ones who are still there to kindly join the breakout room as per your class category, because that's just for 10 minutes. I can still see there are some teachers over here still. I will check 52 participants. Kindly click on more where the 3 dots are there on the system. If you click on those three dots, you'll be able to see the option of breakout. And can you please mute yourself? Dear teachers, all those who are still there, kindly join the breakout room as per your class category.
Teachers who are unable to join, kindly let us know so that we can help you to join the rooms.
Simple ma'am, Nilanjana ma'am has messaged that after joining the breakout room, she's getting removed from the meeting.
And in social science, we can talk about the areas according to the rainfall, according to the type of soil.
But how does adjective relate with it?
Ma'am, like black soil.
Black soil,
Okay.
ma'am.
So these are
Okay.
adjectives only, na?
Only adjective. We are talking about the types of soil.
Simple ma'am, I'm getting these messages. There are these messages in the group as well. Yes, Nilanjana ma'am. Yes, Nilanjana ma'am, just read your message that you cannot join the breakout room. No problem, ma'am. Just 3 minutes are left. If you got something to share, you can share over here. You can unmute yourself or you can write it in the chat box as well. If you got any idea, it is going to be enriching for us as well.
Alka ma'am, are you done with the discussion?
Yes, ma'am, done.
Okay, okay. So you can click on leave room and you can come to the main meeting room again.
Right, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, fine. Welcome everyone back to the meeting. I hope these 10 minutes of interaction probably we've been able to come up to something. So if we are good to go, can we begin with the team leader of the first group, that is up to classes 5? I would request the team leader for that first group of classes up to 5 to come up and please share about any lesson or any topic which they have thought through the multidisciplinary approach.
Namaste, ma'am. Namaste, everyone. Sonia, ma'am.
Ma'am, it's not, ma'am, I can't hear you properly. It's quite low, the volume.
Sonia, ma'am, will be presenting, ma'am. She's joining.
Okay, ma'am. Sonia, ma'am. Right.
কে মনে করাবে তো এক্ষুনি মনে পড়লো আরে আগেই আমাকে ফোন করে
By the time Sonia ma'am begins her like inputs about this particular learning lesson plan, I would like to mention over here, dear friends, that the attendance link will be shared once the second session is over. Before that. Thank you. So Sonia ma'am, if you are good to go, so can we have the inputs from your side?
Hello.
Yes.
Namaste,
Yes,
ma'am.
Sonia. Yes, ma'am. Namaste, ma'am.
We have decided about adjectives for English. Suppose we are taking a topic of adjectives in English. So in maths, we can take the, quantity, number. Suppose I'm talking about fruits. So in English, we are telling, the colors, suppose. And in maths, they will talk about numbers or shapes. And in Hindi, they can talk about, same way, रंगों के नाम, कौन से रंग के फल होते हैं. And in social science, we can talk about type of soils where they are grown, or the mountains, or the beaches, or the areas where we can find, or the type of mountains where they are grown. And for music, the teacher can decide for a song, as we have we're talking about nature. So we have a song in English, Jagrati ma'am, we were discussing just now. Can you please tell that song? We were discussing.
Ma'am, I think Jagrati ma'am should sing in a melodious voice
Yes, ma'am.
over here.
Yes. All things bright and beautiful kind of song is there in our school diary also, where all the adjectives have been used.
Even Puna ma'am has shared over here that art teacher can talk about the colors.
Yes,
So we
ma'am.
can,
Primary colors and
yes.
secondary colors.
But
And
even we can invite a teacher of, like, even the art teacher can come and using clays and that, pottery,
yes,
we can,
ma'am.
yes.
Yes, ma'am. So that way we were thinking about that we can integrate all the subject to talk about adjectives as a
Yes. Beautiful, ma'am. Even Mamta ma'am has added over here with the help of clay, different landforms were marked.
yes, ma'am.
Art, a
Yes, ma'am.
song, "आ जाओ बच्चों तुम्हें
Social
दिखाएं
science.
झांकी
Yes.
हिंदुस्तान की," yes, or
Yes,
the
ma'am.
science types of soil. Absolutely right, ma'am. So
Prerna
Jagriti
ma'am,
ma'am, is she around? Hanji Jagriti ma'am.
Prerna ma'am, music can be used or inculcated in every subject, like it's EVS or Hindi or English. You can use music. Music is like आलू, जहाँ पे मर्जी fit कर दो जिस मर्जी सब्जी
Jagriti
के
ma'am,
साथ.
can you please sing 2-3 lines? All things bright and beautiful, which we
Yes,
were talking about.
Sonia. Actually, when I taught them India physical, na, regarding the mountains and the rivers and everything, all landforms and the water bodies, I made the students sing that song. आओ बच्चों तुम्हें दिखाएं झांकी हिंदुस्तान की, इस मिट्टी से तिलक करो ये धरती है बलिदान की, वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम. In that the paragraph is there na, उत्तर में रखवाली करता पर्वत राज दिराज है, दक्षिण में चरणों को धोता सागर का सम्राट है. This song is also very good for them. They remember then,
Yes.
which is
And
what.
it is in itself, apne aap mein, it's an integration. Like we
Yes,
can
ma'am.
invite her, na, Hindi teacher also over here. I think probably Jagriti ma'am is left. So I think, ma'am, thank you so much, ma'am, for bringing out beautifully this topic of adjectives. It seems difficult for students, but if we do it in this way, probably they will be able to retain it for a longer time. Thank you so much, ma'am. Can we have the team?
Prerna ma'am, I would like to interrupt here.
Yes, ma'am.
Since time, time was
Yes,
till
yes.
5 o'clock. So ma'am is waiting.
Okay, ma'am.
Jyoti-
So
Jyoti
let's, ma'am,
ma'am
can
is
we have
waiting.
just one mic quickly from the other groups?
Ma'am, the next group from 6 to 8.
Yes, ma'am.
So we had taken up adjectives only. So SST, any historical personality of the choice. Then dates are very important in history. So dates, so maths involved. Then poster can be drawn, art and craft. And Hindi में साथ साथ विशेषण can be taken up. See, विशेषण and adjectives. गुणवाचक विशेषण, adjective of quality. So
wonderful, ma'am. Absolutely right, ma'am. Even Radhika ma'am has shared that we can integrate sports also for comparative study of sports, height of mountains, etc. Thank you, ma'am. From the 9 to 12 group, can we have a representative from 9 to 12 group?
Hello, ma'am. Greetings, ma'am. This is Aradhna Singh from Renukut. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Very much.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, while we were on the verge of the discussion, we just decided to go for the chapter, the very first chapter, because it's the start of the the session, and all the teachers, somewhere we have been associated ourselves quite to that particular topic. That is the fun they had from class 9th. That is from Beehive, written by Isaac Asimov. And we actually came up with a different way. How can we go for a multidisciplinary approach while teaching this particular topic? First, we decided that we might be giving 3 to 4 minutes with the strategy of see, think, and wonder. That could be used as one of the strategy, where we would we would be giving children an A4 size paper there, or annotable sheet or anything, something like that, where they are supposed to divide the sheet into two halves. In one of the half, they are supposed to write the kind of the education prevailed at the time of their forefathers, and what would be the education during the corona times, how actually they went while it was a corona time, how the teacher used to collaborate with them. And this is the way we can easily associate this particular topic, the fun they had, with the art integration. Or we might even ask the art teacher also to come and to have the beautiful picture, how it will be a different scenario in the years to come, where it will be a completely technology based education.
Correct.
And ma'am, the second thing that we would like to see, that it is very important that the children, though it is a digital era and our children are now not only remain as the Gen Z children, they have become Gen Alpha, what I feel. They know more than us
Correct,
because they have
absolutely.
more time to surf on YouTubes and everything. What I feel like that we have to associate our children with the reading of the books. And that can only be done with the proficiency of libraries in the school, and to develop the efficacy of it, what we thought as a team while we were in the breakout room, that we can ask them to the library, send them to the library. We can ask the librarians also to provide them with the books, where the small system of Gurukul system, or how the children used to devote themselves fully over there, so that they can easily, ma'am, associate themselves how rich India is basically in heritage also, and the culture also, what respect, what everything they actually have at that time, that no amount of robotic teaching can actually provide you. Of course.
Absolutely, ma'am. Here, library teacher also can come and focus on the importance of books and the
Yes,
Gurukul. This all can be taken by the librarian of the
yes,
school. So this is
yes.
again one discipline which can be added over here.
Yes, ma'am. And
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
ma'am, I don't remember the name of the teacher because we were in quite hurry. We were looking at the timer. So, but I still remember one of ma'am has beautifully elucidated the fact that, ma'am, we can even call the sports teacher in the
Yes.
classroom, because the fun they had, the last moral or the message conveyed
Yes.
in the
They
story is
used to
that
work
the
together.
teacher need to, the student need to sit together. They need to share or exchange in collaboration. So we thought that
Absolutely.
these things we can develop the key competencies, which is one of the basic format for any lesson plan,
Maths
that
for
we can,
yes.
ma'am, collaboration, communication, emotional development also, and the technology should not be taking over the whole of the aura and the children,
Yes.
persona of the children. This is
Right,
what we
ma'am.
are.
Right. Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm really happy, glad that in such a stipulated time, we were at least able to think. Thank you so much, ma'am. Dipali, ma'am, that's
Thanks to
all
the
from
team,
my
ma'am, how
side.
quickly we thought. Uh,
Sorry?
Ma'am, I just would like to extend the thanks to all my team members also. We were silent for a while, but when we started speaking,
Happens.
we spoke a lot, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now I invite Shrija Santosh for thanking our resource person on behalf of all the participants. Shrija Santosh is from Bharati Vidya Bhavan Senior Secondary School, Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Shrija
Thank you,
ma'am, I
ma'am.
think you are there. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Can I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I
Please.
audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Namaste and good evening to each and everyone present here. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this day. First and foremost, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest of the day, Sri Ashok Pradhan. Sir, your presence today has greatly enriched our training program. We are deeply honored and thankful for the inspiring words you have shared and taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our patron, Mr. A.K. Sharma, Bhavan's REO, New Delhi. Sir, your unwavering support and guidance have been instrumental in making the event a success. We really appreciate your dedication and commitment for the upliftment of the teaching community, sir. Thank you very much. A big thanks to our resource person for presenting multidisciplinary approach in learning. Dr. Prerna has presented the topic very well. Ma'am, your expertise and insight have provided us with valuable knowledge and has greatly contributed to the success of this orientation program organized by Shikshan Bharati, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, New Delhi. I would be remiss if I do not acknowledge the hard work and dedication of the organizing committee of this faculty development program for teachers. Thank you for your meticulous planning and execution. I also express my heartfelt gratitude to Deepali ma'am for her efforts to conduct the orientation program smoothly and efficiently. Finally, I would like to thank all the participants for joining this orientation program from different parts of the state. Your active participation and enthusiasm have made this event lively and successful. In conclusion, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you present here. Your support and participation have been invaluable. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Next session.